All right, joining us to discuss this further is Craig Snyder. He is the president and CEO of the World Affairs Council. Craig, thanks for being with us. And as we heard there, Tillerson meeting with Pakistan's Prime Minister, and he pledged Pakistan's cooperation in fighting terrorists. Now, Tillerson and Trump repeatedly saying that Pakistan must do more to curb support for terrorist groups. Is this just lip service from the Pakistanis, or what kind of action do you expect that they will follow through with?
Well, I don't expect any kind of fundamental change in Pakistani behavior. They're pretty good at protecting their own interests, and they have a sense of what those interests are that may not always agree with Washington. Look, for a long time, you could say that Pakistan and the United States are the world's greatest frenemies. There's a deep cooperation in military and in intelligence affairs, and a lot of aid going from the United States to Pakistan. But at the same time, there are what in many other circumstances and in other parts of the world would be considered acts of war going on between the two countries. I mean, we conduct military operations without their authority on Pakistani territory. Most notably, of course, the raid that killed Osama bin Laden. And they support the Taliban, who attack and kill American soldiers in Afghanistan.
Now, Craig, the U.S. giving about $1 billion to the frenemy Pakistan, at least last year. So what do you see happening for the U.S. to make good on its threats to cut aid? And what consequences would that have if the U.S. does stop giving Pakistan financial assistance?
I think there would be very serious negative consequences for the United States. There are lots of places in the world where there is not an ideal answer and where you're choosing between sort of bad and worse options. The United States is not going to be able to control Pakistani behavior in every detail, and is not going to be satisfied with Pakistani behavior in every detail. But I think it would be a very, really very consequential, in a negative way, step to cut the aid. I think this is more the Trump administration exercising a bolder, brasher rhetoric, as it does in many places around the world. I don't expect to see the fundamental policy actually change.
Well, one thing that is changing is the U.S.'s position with India, getting more strategic there. Pakistan is uneasy with the U.S. Pushing towards better ties with India, which, of course, is Pakistan's arch enemy. Tillerson wants India to be a counterbalance to China. He also wants more Indian involvement in Afghanistan. What does that mean? What can we see from India here?
Well, this is really a very, very complex and important relationship, the evolution of American relations with India, which actually started in the Bush administration and then was really advanced significantly in the Obama administration. So there's a lot of continuity here, actually, with what Tillerson is doing. Look, India is now the 6th largest economy in the world. It has a nuclear force. It is a spacefaring nation. India is of increasing importance every day on the world stage. They are a natural counterbalance to China. They share our concern about the rise of the strategic threat of China. So it is imperative that the United States continue, as we have in the last decade or so, to cultivate better relations with India. But the flip side of that is that the Indians are fiercely independent. They really have an India-first foreign policy, and they're going to keep that. They're going to continue to make deals with the Russians, even the Chinese, when they think it's in their interests. They will never be a traditional ally of the United States in the formal sense. The best we can do is to continue to improve things and to recognize their enhanced status in the world, which they want to be recognized and really have a right to. But then the really complicated thing is trying to manage both of these relationships, the American relationship with Pakistan on the one hand, with India on the other, given that they are more than rivals. They are in fact enemies with nuclear weapons pointed at each other.
Right, and that makes the U.S. cozying up to India very problematic for Pakistan. Craig Snyder, appreciate it. President and CEO of the World Affairs Council. Thank you.
Thank you.